They told me never to follow strangers into the woods, especially ones who cook with knives bigger than their temper. But that night, under the blood-orange sky, I followed him anyway. Not because I was brave, I wasn't. I'd rather sip safe cocktails in a neon-lit lounge than risk tripping over roots in the dark. But something in his eyes, a wild glint beneath the firelight, whispered that I was starving for more than just food. Something in his gaze echoed the restlessness in my soul, the hunger for a taste of something real in a world that served up disappointment like cheap takeout. And he was serving something different, something primal. I was a food critic, sophisticated, selective, a little too cynical for my own good. I'd tasted the finest cuisines from Paris to Tokyo, but nothing had shocked my senses the way his cooking did. People called him the Wild Chef. There was no address. No reservations, only invitations. Hand-delivered envelopes with messages scrawled in ink that smelled of wood smoke and cinnamon. He cooked in the woods, deep in the heart of nowhere. His dishes were untamed, primal, dripping in flavor and mystery. So when I got a hand-delivered envelope marked in ink and spice saying, "Dinner, midnight, come hungry," I didn't hesitate. I wore red, because I wanted to be noticed. But I didn't know I was walking into fire. The cabin was hidden beneath tall pines, smoke trailing like a secret. Inside it was rustic, yet elegant. Animal skins on the floor, a crackling fireplace, herbs hanging from the ceiling. And him. He was taller than I imagined, with rough hands and eyes that didn't just look at you. They tasted you. Like I was the main course and he was sizing me up before serving me. "You're late," he said, wiping his blade, sending a shiver down my spine that had nothing to do with the temperature. "You're intense," I replied, breathless from the climb and maybe a little from him. He smirked then and handed me a wooden plate. It smelled wild, meat, smoke, citrus, danger. And with one bite, I moaned. Yes, moaned. I didn't care if my perfect facade crumbled into a million tiny pieces. This wasn't just food. It was an experience, a collision of flavors and textures that awakened parts of me that had been dormant for far too long. "I don't just feed mouths," he said, his voice low and rumbling like distant thunder. "I feed hunger of every kind." Then I knew I wasn't just here for dinner, and he wasn't just serving food. He was serving an experience, a feast for all the senses, a celebration of life, of passion, of everything I'd forgotten I craved. He made me touch the raw ingredients, fennel, figs, garlic crushed beneath fingers that were strong yet gentle, tenderizing not just the vegetables but something inside me as well. Blood-red pomegranate dripping on my skin like desire. "Cooking," he whispered behind me, his breath hot against my ear, "is like foreplay. It's messy. It's loud. And it always starts with fire." I turned around and met his gaze. In that moment, the fire between us blazed to life, consuming everything in its path. He led me to a clearing where a bonfire crackled beneath a canopy of stars. As the flames leaped and danced, so did our eyes. He dipped my fingers in honey, letting me decorate my own bread. Each touch sent sparks flying, both literally from the fire and metaphorically between us. We ate with our hands, with our hearts, with every sense alight. With every bite, I felt myself surrendering to something bigger than myself, to the rhythm of the wild, to the intoxicating melody of the night. I felt alive. Then he took me home. Or maybe I took him home. We stumbled out of the woods, hand in hand, into the soft glow of dawn. As the first rays of sunlight touched my skin, I knew I wasn't just changing professions, I was changing my life. The next day, the city seemed muted, its vibrant colors dulled to gray. The familiar streets felt alien, the buildings cold and distant. Nothing compared to the warmth, the aliveness of the cabin in the woods. I missed the feel of the earth beneath me, the taste of the wild berries, the sound of the wind whispering secrets through the trees. Back in my sterile apartment, surrounded by the ghosts of memories past, I realized I wasn't just a food critic. I was a storyteller, a weaver of words who could bring people the taste of a place, the smell of a season, the feeling of being truly alive. And he, the wild chef, had shown me the way. He had unlocked the magic in my soul, reminding me that hunger isn't just about food. It's about connection to ourselves, to nature, to each other. I found my story in the wild, where the chef's heart beat in time with the drums of the wild, where the fire danced and the flavors sang, and where love, like wild berries, was sweet, tangy, and utterly unforgettable.